All right. So let's get started. Hi there. I'm Jeremiah Morlock from Marriage Repair Project. And I want to welcome you to this live broadcast on the topic of how to rebuild your wife's trust before it's too late. First thing, I want to say something about what I mean when I say the word trust. I'm talking about trust in an emotional way. Like she feels that you're someone that she can really rely on, that she can really count on. That can mean a lot of different things. If you're thinking about affairs or other kinds of lying, yeah, that's part of it. Honesty is definitely part of it, but it's also more than that. It's like she feels like you're steady and you're safe. That doesn't mean flat and emotionless. Statues don't make good partners. They're pretty boring. But I mean someone who will really support her and pull through for her. If she feels that about you, then that means she trusts you in this bigger way that I'm talking about. Okay, so let's just pull back the curtain for a sec. You've probably heard the statistic, two-thirds of divorces is the wife who calls it. But if you think that that happens in a single fiery moment, you're missing the slow motion part. Most breakups don't come out of just nowhere. They're more like a leak, like a slow leak that you don't notice at first until suddenly you're standing ankle deep in water. And by then it's already soaked through the floorboards and there's probably a bunch of mold in there. And it's really gross and pretty unhealthy. So the real story is a lot quieter, a lot more painful. Trust doesn't usually just blow up completely because of one huge mistake. It can do this, but it's basically a slow seeping out. It's like she's pulling away, and you're still thinking that things are maybe not great, but not that bad. But then by the time she's finally saying the D word, she's been living in a different world for a while now. You might be catching up to a race that started months or even years ago. So let's break down how that drift actually starts because it's not obvious. There's no big warning light on the dashboard. Most of the time, you only spot it in the rearview mirror, flying by. At first, it's tiny stuff. You crack a joke at breakfast. She doesn't even look up. Maybe, you reach out for her, just a quick touch on the shoulder, and you kind of sense she's pulling away. It's not rude, it's just a little distant. And, you might ask her if everything's okay. And she ends up just saying fine. And it's kind of flat, and it means nothing's fine. It's a slow fade. And there's digs, sarcasm, eye rolls that you pretend not to notice when you can. And then there's silence. Not even fighting or arguing, not even rolling her eyes. It's just she's not there. So that's the moment that you're living side by side on parallel tracks, and you're technically together, but there's an ocean between you. So some researchers have called it the distance and isolation cascade. It's a fancy name, but you know what it feels like. It's what I've been talking about. It's like, when you're having dinner and there's no conversation, and it's the way that she stays up late scrolling on her phone, waiting for you to fall asleep first. It's a weird kind of tension in the air that never quite breaks, no matter how much you want it to. All right, so here's where the knife gets twisted. It often happens right when you're finally actually trying, when you finally started listening, when you're keeping your temper in check. You're saying sorry when you mess up and you mean it. For once, you're doing the right things. But it's like shouting through glass. She doesn't hear it or she doesn't believe it. You apologize, she shrugs. You help out, she acts like it's nothing. You can do everything right for a week and still feel like you're stuck in quicksand, sinking no matter how much you flail. That's when most guys want to give up. What's the point? You might think, or think she's already made up her mind, so whatever. But here's the real question, the one that actually matters. How do you rebuild trust when words don't land anymore? When she's stopped listening, when she's built a wall so high you can't see over it. What do you do then? Let's clear up a big myth. Trust isn't rebuilt by saying the right thing. You can give the greatest apology speech of your life. You could win an Oscar for most improved husband, and it still won't change anything. Your follow through is what changes things. If your follow through sucks, saying you promise you'll do better, you really changed, it doesn't matter. The more you try to sell it, the less she's going to buy it. It's because trust is not a performance. It's not a debate you can win or a box you can check off. She's not grading you on your speeches. Talk is cheap. It's crucial, but it's also cheap. What she is doing is scanning for proof. She's looking for consistency, not confessions. She's watching what you do when nobody's clapping, nobody's gold starring you, and things aren't going your way. She wants you to show her the money, so to speak. Okay, so let's take money. I'm talking about real money now as an example. It's a classic sore spot for a lot of couples. Maybe you used to buy big ticket stuff. It's like new phone, new TV, new whatever, without looking her in. She'd find out after the fact, and suddenly it's a fight, or maybe it's not even a fight anymore. All in all, it's just another brick in the wall. This chips away at trust. The steady drip of, I can't count on you to include me. And imagine you pull a different move. You're tempted to just do your thing, but instead you pause. You say, hey, I was thinking about swapping out the tires before winter. Can we check the numbers together? There's no big speech, no drama, just you showing up in a way that says, we're in this together. And then you do it again and again, and not perfectly. Nobody's perfect, but you make the choice over and over again. And after a while, she stops bracing for the next surprise. Her body literally relaxes. She's not waiting for the other shoe to drop. You build credibility this way, and it's not flashy. It's how trust gets rebuilt, though, one unremarkable, reliable moment at a time. Maybe it's the bedtime routine with your daughter. Another example. Let's say you used to cut corners. You got tired, you let the routine slide, and she was the one picking up the slack. Your wife was the one. She noticed, even if she didn't say it. It's the sort of thing that erodes trust. It's not evil or malicious, and it might not even be dishonest, but she learned not to rely on you, and it's lonely for her. Now, though, let's say you start to quietly follow through. Every night, even when you'd rather fall face first onto the floor or into a bowl of cereal, you don't announce it. You don't keep score, but you just do the routine. And over time, she sees it. She might not say a word, but her nervous system is tracking every move. You're making yourself reliable, not just in this one corner, but everywhere. Trust builds like that. Slow, invisible, until one day she's not flinching when you say that you will handle something. Don't get tripped up, though, into expecting that trust is going to come back because of one big gesture or quickly, or no big apology is going to make it happen. A breakthrough conversation is just a conversation. You're not going to get a billboard outside your office that says, you were right, darling. I screwed everything up. Never again. I love you. Even if you do, obviously that's not going to do it. That's a pretty odd thing to do. Trust comes back in the mundane, not the big stuff, the boring stuff, the repetitive stuff. That's what does it. And it's not flashy stuff that's going to be in movies, at least not movies anybody wants you to see. It's when your reliability becomes the background noise. So steady she doesn't even notice it anymore. That's when you know you're on the right track. All right? Don't expect a round of applause. Great if you get one, but most of it's going to go unmentioned, probably, at least at first. And she might not say thank you. She might not even look at you any differently for a while. And that's normal. Her system's still on alert, still waiting to see if the old pattern comes back. You have to keep going. You're not doing this for instant results. You're doing it because it's the only way to build something solid. All right. So, and seriously, you're going to mess up. You'll forget. You'll slip. You'll have a bad day and go back to old habits. It's not the end of the story. What matters is what you do next. Do you own it or do you hide? Do you get defensive about it or do you just reset yourself? Every time you choose honesty and steadiness over performance and panic, you're deepening those new grooves. It's like learning to play the guitar. Your fingers are clumsy at first, but the more you do it, the more natural it gets. Eventually, it's muscle memory and you're Jimi Hendrix. Well, another thing nobody tells you, sometimes she'll keep reacting to the old pattern even after you've changed. She's not doing it to punish you. That's just what her body's learned to expect. You might be showing up differently, all right? But she's still got her guard up. Don't take that as proof that you're failing. Take it as proof that this stuff runs deep. The only way through is to keep showing her day after day that you're actually different. Not by telling her, by letting her see it and feel it and live it. And let's not kid ourselves. Sometimes the right move is not to be endlessly patient or collaborative. There are moments in real life when you need to set a boundary. You need to step in hard or to pull back completely. That's not the issue. The issue is your default setting. If your default is to pull away or to lean in too hard, you're letting old habits eat away at the foundation of your marriage, one tiny, delicious bite at a time. So what do you actually do next? Okay, first you have to be aware of what's happening when it's happening. Be aware of when you're getting defensive or when you're tempted to just go through the motions to check a box. And try to pause and ask yourself in these moments, what would it look like to be steady right then? Not perfect, not performative, but really present, okay? And that's the move. And you keep doing it, even when it feels like it's not working, especially then. You're laying down new tracks, and at first, every cell in your body will want to snap back to the old path. She'll probably keep responding from that old script for a while. That's okay. I mean, it sucks, but it's okay. Your job is to keep showing up anyway. You're not just shifting your marriage, you're also shifting yourself. The tortoise creams the hare every time. It's okay for it to take a while. If hearing this is like a punch in the gut, you should just know that you're not alone. Okay, this is the starting line, not the finish. And if you want to go deeper, you got to get serious about it, really build the skills, really figure out what's going on inside you, inside her, inside the relationship. Learn to show up in a way that's going to work, that's going to make her feel heard, that's going to really let you be heard too. When you're reliable, when you're steady, when you're present, when you're balanced, when you do this over and over and over, you can really rebuild something worth having. Thanks again for tuning in, for watching, whatever you're doing. I'm Jeremiah Morlock from Marriage Repair Project. Got a bunch more videos up here if you're interested. And hope to talk to you soon.